All right, so there's something you guys need to know about your boy Beasty. I have no filter between my mouth and the brain. Like, whatever goes on up here comes out the mouth, and there is nothing in between to stop it. I can't help it. It's just how I am. The other day I made a video on the little communist kid that was fat, and I made a joke about how, you know, as a communist, he shouldn't be fat because he's hogging all the wealth, which would be food. He needs to redistribute that to hungrier people that are starving, right? It was just a joke. A lot of people took me seriously, though, and a lot of people said apparently being fat is out of your control. You can't control being fat. That's just how you're born. And there's another idiot that believes it as well.
Our weight is often framed as something that we have control over and something that determines how much willpower we have. I've heard people say that they dislike fat people because they think that the very fact that they're fat means they don't have any self-control.
No. No one hates fat people. I have never hated a fat person. You're those hate blamers that try to, to redirect the issue away from the problem at hand, which is being obese, by saying people hate fat people. No, I don't hate fat people. I just find it incredibly funny when they're wheezing and out of breath from walking from the sofa to the restroom. I'm gonna get so many hate comments, Jesus. Hey, listen to this. You hear that? I'm fat too, don't worry, I'm fat. I get out of breath walking up the steps at class. I'm fat too, so there we go.
I've heard people say that they dislike fat people because they think that the very fact that they're fat means they don't have any self-control. But actually, the reality is that we have far less control over our own weight than we've been told. And being fat doesn't say anything about a person's willpower or self-control.
Really? If you don't know, Riley Dennis is a transgender woman, right? So, if you can control your own gender, all right? If you can change from a boy to a woman, then I'll be damned you can't control your weight. It is as easy as not eating food. That's how easy it is to control your damn weight. I mean, for example, during wars, during famine, during sieges, during the Holocaust, there weren't a lot of fat people. And you know why? Because there wasn't any food. And you know what food is? It's called energy. And when you don't have energy, you don't store energy in the form of fat. It's that simple.
But actually, the reality is that we have far less control over our own weight than we've been told. And being fat doesn't say anything about a person's willpower or self-control. Yeah, wild idea that you can't judge someone's entire character by their physical appearance. I know.
Wild idea that you can't judge someone's character by their physical appearance. No. No one ever said that's the case. I don't run up to fat people and go, you know what? I bet you're a liar. No one does that. I don't judge people's character based on their physical appearance. I judge the fact they probably have too many jelly donuts.
I know. So we're taught growing up that weight loss or weight gain is very simple. It's calories in versus calories out. You need to eat less and exercise more, and boom, weight loss. But that's actually a massive oversimplification, and in fact, it causes harm to a lot of people who try to adhere to this false concept to the detriment of their health.
So wait a minute, you're telling me that it's not that simple? What science has proven, the black and white science behind eating, is all a lie? So you mean calories in doesn't equal calories out? So if I put a cheesecake down my throat and it has 52 million calories in it, then I'm gonna burn the same amount of calories or even more? Is that how that works? You would actually have to be the biggest moron on earth to not understand that eating puts on weight unless you control your diet or exercise. And even exercising can't outdo 5 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts.
But science, types the angry internet commenter. Sorry, but science actually agrees with me here. About 60 to 80% of your calories out are burned just by your existing. About 60 to 80% of your calories out are burned just by your existing.
Okay, all right, I am losing brain cells rapidly here, people. You mean to tell me that my body burns 60 to 80% of the calories I put in it? Just that's the simplification of it, 60 or 80%. So let's say I'm sitting down on the sofa and I'm watching a really sad movie and I somehow consume an entire bakery of donuts. My body, without limit, will burn 60 or 80% of those calories. No calorie cap. So 80% of 1,000,000 calories is 800,000 calories. So my body would burn that many calories, right? Is that what you're saying? That's so stupid. According to livestrong.com, reliable, maybe not reliable, a 150-pound person will burn 68 calories per hour just resting. That's like one potato chip.
This is called basal or resting metabolism, and you have zero control over this. Another 10% is burned just by your body digesting food, and if you want to continue living, you need to eat food. That only leaves 10 to 30% to be burned by physical activity. And physical activity isn't just exercise, it's walking around, fidgeting, doing whatever. So no matter how much you exercise, you never really have any control over more than 30% of what you're burning.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, but your science is very attractive. I can already taste all the food I'm gonna have. So let's say 10 to 30% of your calories need to be burned by exercise and the rest your body handles. So let's say, what's 30% of 1,000,000 calories left over? How many laps around the track would I need to do? How many fidget spinner tricks would I have to do to burn 1,000,000 calories? This is so bad, it's painful. My brother is morbidly obese, and I mean morbidly obese, okay? You know how he got that way? No. Not by eating regular food, not by having chicken and vegetables and exercising. He got that way by having pizza, donuts, cookies, popcorn, never exercising, having whatever he wants, ice cream, no calorie count at all. He just ate whatever he saw, and he was happy doing that, and he put on weight fast. You know how that happened? No, his body wasn't burning a good 60 or 80% of the calories in his body just by resting. He was having way too many calories, and it was turned into fat.
We frame weight loss or weight gain as something that people have a ton of control over, but scientifically, factually, that's not the case. Some people have a high basal metabolism, and they tend to be naturally skinnier, like me. And some people have a low basal metabolism, and they tend to be fatter. That's just how bodies work. We're not all the same, and you can't hold everyone to the same standard when we all have wildly different metabolic rates. At this point, I imagine people are saying, but what about calories in? You still have control over that. And yes, you do, to some extent.
What do you mean to some extent? Every single calorie in my body was put there by me. Like, what? You mean I'm asleep in bed, some guy walks in, cracks my mouth open and shoves jelly donuts down it? Do we absorb calories in the air? Every single amount of food in my body was put there by me. I don't know what you mean we sort of have control over it. No, we totally have control over it. The only person I know of that can't control the food they put in their mouth is Stephen Hawking. You can control your food just fine.
Everyone's caloric needs are different, and forcing people to eat fewer calories than they need has been scientifically proven to be ineffective in the long run, even if you've heard anecdotal evidence that says otherwise. Most people who diet gain all the weight back and more within 5 years. Plus, it's honestly irresponsible to put this pressure on people to consume as few calories as possible when we know that that contributes to eating disorders.
Are you kidding me? There is no way in the 21st century with science and technology we have people with the IQ of a Neanderthal. How's that possible? You're telling me that you actually believe that people can't control their calories. Yes, it's dumb to think people have to, eat as few calories as possible, but explain to me how there are people out there, that can survive 29 days without food. How is that possible? And if you can survive 29 days without food, that probably means shoveling all those pizza rolls down and having donuts and candy. That may be an excessive amount of food. It's amazing that people are going out of their way now to make people that are literally privileged. Speaking of privilege, people always make fun of white males being privileged. You cannot get any more privileged than being fat. There are people genuinely starving in this world, and we are sitting here in America trying to come up with excuses for why people are so privileged they're obese to the point where they're getting heart disease. And speaking of eating disorders, we shouldn't force people into corners with low calorie counts because of eating disorders. Yeah, you know what? Better that eating disorder than dying of heart disease because you're so obese your body can't function properly.
And what that should tell you is that health is not connected to your body weight in the way that you were probably raised to believe. Of course, we all know by now that the BMI is an awful and inaccurate way of measuring health because it only takes into account height and weight and literally no other factors like exercise or genetic conditions. But what that means is that fat people can be healthy and skinny people can be unhealthy. You can eat poorly and never exercise and be skinny. And likewise, you can eat great and exercise all the time and be fat.
The BMI scale isn't an absolute. It's supposed to be like a nice little area where you can kind of get a generalization of where you're supposed to be. I'm pretty sure nobody thinks that if you're 193 pounds and the BMI scale says you're supposed to be 192, time to start starving myself. Now they're like, okay, yeah, more or less 20 pounds, I'm in a healthy range. But if you're like truck driver Dave over here and you get out of your truck and your truck tilts sideways and the ground bows when you step on it and your gut hangs over your belt so it touches your shoelaces, maybe you're unhealthy.
There are two main takeaways from this. First, people don't have a lot of control over their weight. Basal metabolism is powerful and out of your control. Secondly, even if someone had all the control in the world over their weight, you still shouldn't hate them or shame them for it. That also has been scientifically proven to not have any kind of positive effect.
Oh, really? Really? Are you kidding me? I'm fat. I'm sick of being fat because I get the comments and I'm trying to lose weight. My brother was, I have two brothers. My other brother, the one that lost all the weight, was obese and I made fun of him every day. And then when that didn't work, I dragged him out by the hair and forced him to lose weight. And he hasn't gone back and he's actually healthier than me now. And now he's on my back to lose weight. So I'm trying to lose weight. You can't just sit there and be like, it's okay. You're fat. You know, you're as big as a mountain and you stink, but it's okay. If you're happy, that's all that matters. No, it's not. You started out with a dumb statement like you can't control your weight, and then you mix some science in there and try and confuse us. Yes, you can. You can control your weight just like you can control the food you put in your body, which makes you fat. If you were to eat nothing but chicken, rice, and vegetables, I'm quite positive that you would have to eat a lot more of that to make you equally as fat as having McDonald's every day. And there's no way anyone could stuff down enough chicken, rice, and vegetables to get that many calories to equal a giant thing of KFC, you know? I'm just saying, it's that easy. What do we learn? Absolutely nothing. Being fat is a problem and it's something you can control. Can you control all of it? No, of course not. No one ever said that. You may be overweight, you know, and you just can't help it. But being morbidly obese is a real issue. What you put in your mouth directly affects the weight you have on your body. Why? Because it's energy. I thought we learned this in school. Calories are energy. When your body can't use it, it's stored. It's that simple. I don't know. It's kind of dumb you have to disprove stuff like this in 2017. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and peace out.
And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm young and I'm restless. And I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so